Yeah, welcome to the Weege Show. Welcome to ClubMX. And we're going to meet some of the great talent that uses this place as an off-season Supercross training facility. Some of the greats, like, well, okay, not all of them are great. Not all of them are great, but I got good news. Phil Nicoletti is not here. He is actually injured, still coming back from a torn ACL. So I decided to come and record the Weege Show at ClubMX on a day where Phil is not here. We're going to head up the road in this Honda Ridgeline. Honda makes great four-wheel products. Obviously great two-wheeled machines as well. I don't know if the Honda Talon Sport Side-by-Side is the official sponsor of the Weege Show during the off-season, but during the off-season, I would love to have one to rip around and have fun with my family. So I'll keep pumping up the Honda Talon. There we go. The perfect 10. Yes, ClubMX, home of Justin Brayton. Also, adding Alex Martin to the roster on the actual ClubMX I Am a Comeback FXR Yamaha team. So we'll check in with the Troll Train as well, and we will show Steve Mathis how much faster Justin Brayton is going than Alex Martin, now that they will be rivals in the 450 class. Let's go check in. Now, by the way, this is the practice facility for the amateur riders. There's also an open track over there, public track, but next to that is the Supercross track that we'll see the riders riding on today. And then if you go further down the road here, this side is the entrance where the national level motocross track would be. Not using that this time of year because all the top riders are going to be doing Supercross training. We're going to enter club on this side. Straight ahead here, this is a turn track right now, but it will turn into another Supercross track soon. So then they'll have Supercross tracks on each side of the road, and they can change off different tracks. I think eventually they'll have 4 Supercross tracks up and running during preseason leading into the 2022 Monster Energy Supercross season. Here's some of the buildings, and we will go check in with the perfect 10 garage of Justin Brayton and see how everyone's doing today. We're gonna get an update here. The bike looks good. We got Sean Ulikowski back spinning the wrenches. First time since 05?
Yeah, as a full-time mechanic.
The full-time mechanic. You might remember him, the legendary Preston Ulikowski super team that took down James Stewart.
Supercross champ.
Supercross champ, took down James Stewart in 2002. So JB, how's it going? You're an off-season mastermind. You normally have like 18 races planned out. Maybe not quite so much this time, but
it'd be like mid-season form.
You would, yeah, you would.
I have had a break. We chilled out in Iowa for the summer, and yeah, I'm actually not. I don't remember what this is like. Only focusing on one series, so
yeah,
it's been fun. A lot of family time, but now, like we've been talking about it for a couple weeks, but yeah, when do you start going hard? When do you not? And then I'm of the mindset of I don't like when people say, "Oh, we got time, we got time, we got time." Well, no, you don't. Like, I always sit there, or we have a running joke between a few of my friends, like, Anaheim 1's tomorrow.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden it is tomorrow, and you're like, dang, I didn't have, you've got Thanksgiving, you probably throw in maybe you'll have a cold or something where you'll miss a week of riding. You've got testing, you've got Christmas, I've got kids stuff. And so yeah, I'm pressing pretty, I wouldn't say full on right now, but we're definitely making the most of every day and like pushing that ceiling higher and higher.
You are not in take it easy mode.
No,
you are trying right now.
Definitely trying right now for sure.
How does it actually feel? So at one point, look, you sort of might have thought you weren't even racing anymore. Was it any different getting back on it now because you had that brief, for the first time, thought in your mind that maybe you're not going to race?
Well, I think a lot of us racers, especially once you get a little bit older and we're taught certain things when you're 30, you're super old, you might as well hang it up. I feel like it's changing a little bit now with obviously Chad doing what he did, now me doing what I'm doing, and it's not like I'm just rolling around, got a podium this Supercross season, or this last Supercross season. So, but yeah, I mean, the crash in Dallas, and there was a few things leading up to that I had just kind of had enough, but I also am wise enough to not make any rash decisions on that night or that next week. And but I definitely had to do a lot of work mentally to kind of reprogram my brain again to not be scared, if you will, or have any fear, because if that creeps in, then it's game over. But I just really went back to the basics of like the facts. I had some engine failures. That's not my fault. It's super, super rare in our sport. I had really none up until that point, really in my whole career, maybe a couple, throughout my whole almost 15-year career or more. So, and I also think about what's my favorite thing to do. What's the upside to it? You have to think about the financial piece. No matter, people don't like to talk about it, but there's that piece of it.
You will make more money racing than not racing.
I'll make way more money.
Yes.
Racing, yeah.
Yes.
And then how does that help my family? And then also, is my wife on board? Because that's hard for her to watch me crash. I mean, her and my daughter, 7-year-old daughter Parker, they were at that race in Dallas, and I'll never forget like seeing my daughter crying and me with 2 broken arms, and like, so that really was pretty heavy, but it's also teaching her as well. So yeah, I think there's the good outweighs the bad by far. Like it's just not even close. So me and my wife have a deal of like, okay, if you're gonna go all in, then let's do it.
Okay.
If you're just gonna go halfway or 3/4, then we're out. Because she always says if you're all in and you're 100%, she's like not scared at all. Like she's like, all right, everything's gonna be fine.
Okay.
But if there's days where I'm like halfway and she knows I'm kind of not doing the proper training, like, because she's been around long enough now, like, she can sense if I'm all in or not. And if I'm not, she's like, you need to be done. But I'm motivated. I'm all in. It's fun to be back with the MCR team and Mike Genova. And, yeah, I'm excited for it. And then to have Yulo back, Yulo and I go way back. I mean, he's the one who got me into mountain biking when I was with JGR. And so there's all these things that are coming together. Like it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, so the fact that, like right now, in any October, you're about the same as where you were. The fact that there was this hitch in April, that's all in the past. It's not affecting you at this point.
It's all in the past for sure.
Yeah.
And I will say the first couple times riding motocross, riding the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit timid. There were some jumps where I'm like, I would do this first lap typically. So that's why I said I kind of had to reprogram and like get back on the bike and see how I felt, not make any rash decisions. I had the conversations of being done, absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot with close sponsors and with my family, and but I think the best thing for me and honestly even my health, like we don't talk about that enough, about waking up with a passion and also how, a lot of people talk about the bad, talk about the injuries. We don't talk about the good that much, about literally how healthy it keeps me. I'm waking up every day doing, working out and making sure I'm eating properly. And I've had months where I haven't had that purpose. And yeah, you might sleep in a little bit. I mean, if I want to have cinnamon roll for breakfast, I'll have a cinnamon roll. Things like that don't get discussed enough. And so yeah, it's fun. I enjoy it. I'm still competitive. That's the biggest thing too. Yeah, if I'm rolling around and I don't have the proper bike to get podiums, and I don't have the speed, and I'm a little bit nervous, and all those things, for sure I'd be done. I'd call it. But I genuinely believe that I can start as good or better than I did this year, which was, I think we left Houston top 5 in points, and we're looking pretty good.
Yeah, so how you're feeling riding right now? You're right on par, or you're right in the mix where you normally would feel?
Yeah. In the mix, or even ahead of where we were last year because of, the Honda came out last year.
Yes, when I came here this time last year, you were borrowing an engine from Chris Kiefer.
Not even this time. It was
later than this.
It was
no way.
December.
Okay.
So I went to a dealership and purchased a new bike.
Yeah.
The 2021, like the first week of December. And then I was on a stock bike for, I'd say, 2 weeks. And then, we borrowed an engine from Kiefer, which was like late in the year. I mean, it was like almost Christmas time. So.
This is way better than all that.
Yeah, this time last year I was still, which Honda was gracious enough to let me ride the factory bike for that long. But they just let me keep my bike all summer.
But that was a previous generation.
Bike. But I was still getting laps and stuff. But yeah, I mean, when I first jumped on the new bike, although I liked it, it didn't really have suspension. We didn't have any engine pieces. We had no chassis parts and pieces. There was, we had to run the old front end because of clamps. Like, there was a lot of different things we had to run. So I would say I rode my race setup for maybe a week and a half before the first round. And now I'm already, we're really close. I go to California next week to do some testing, but I could race this motorcycle. Yeah, it's really close to what I have last year.
Okay, so actually you're way ahead, if anything.
Sure, as far as pieces and parts and bikes and,
did you leave the SmarTop team you were all good, or did you have to like bend some fences, or was it pretty good relationship the whole time?
It was totally good the whole time. Mike Genova and I have actually become really close friends, and I look up to him a ton, business-wise, life-wise. I get advice from him all the time, even when I was with HRC and with MotoConcepts Honda. But how it all went was I had a contract for 2020, I guess it would have been.
Yeah.
Factory Honda needed a guy for Supercross only because Chase was coming up for Motocross, and they called and said, "Hey, would you be interested?" And so we'll let me talk to Mike, and yeah, it totally left on good terms. He understood. Yeah, it was all good, totally fine.
I see.
We were just in some talks this summer. I kept telling him all summer, like, I'm not sure if I'm going to race. I really don't know, because I didn't want to lead him down a road. I didn't want to lead anyone.
Yeah.
But once I did make the decision, we were just talking casually one day, and you know, there had been some talks of him possibly not racing. There was all kinds of rumors.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Yep.
So he's like, "Man, we can. If you want to do this, let's do this." Like he was ready to go all in again, and you know, and Tony, I always worked well with Tony. There's, you know, we've had a couple things here and there, but it was always for the benefit of him to make the bike better. Like, he's just so passionate. So after having the issues I had last year, I don't know anybody better to control the motorcycle than Tony Alessi. Like, we've all heard the stories, we all know what it's like.
Oh yeah, nothing left on the table.
There's nothing left on the table.
Yes.
And yeah, if you look back at the history, I had some great results with him. I had arguably my best ever season, you know, several podiums to win and a lot of heat wins, and yeah, I just like the way Genova goes about it, especially at this point in my career. Like, he doesn't really care about the number at the end of the night, as long as I give my best effort and we have a good time, and that frees me up, you know, like I don't have to go get on the podium, but we're gonna try hard and do our best. We're gonna have great equipment. I mean, I think it's on par with the factory level stuff, and yeah, we'll go racing and have some fun.
You're kind of getting the good side, which is the fun, the passion, without the pressure.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah, you're getting only the benefit. Yes, that's right, I'd forgotten. We had heard for a while Genova might be done, and then we thought you might be done. Do you think the two things are a coincidence, or did you talking to him, did you both maybe bring each other back, bring the team back and you back?
I think there's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah.
If he wasn't racing, I don't know if I'm racing.
There you go.
I really can't say that. And then if I'm not, yeah, I don't know. He could answer that better, but I know at one point he did say, look, he didn't have a ton of fun last year for several reasons, not just because of the riders and stuff, but yeah, results. I mean, he spends a lot of money. He spends a lot of his own money.
Yes.
And yeah, we can talk about the number doesn't matter, which it does and it doesn't, right? Like if I'm trying my best and, you know, I get an 8th or whatever, he's totally cool with that. But like when they're getting 15th and stuff,
right,
and nothing against him, it's just it's a really stacked field, and so yeah, I think it wasn't quite as fun, especially with COVID as well. Like, you know, he likes to go to races.
Yeah. If you're a private team motor, I mean, Chad even said part of the reason that he didn't want to race anymore is because it's not fun when you're just locked in a room with 8 guys and you can't talk to people and you can't hang out and you can't have a good time.
And that's part of it. That's what he loves.
Yes.
We do team dinners every Friday night. He loves the camaraderie. He loves the people.
Yeah.
Loves kind of the experience of everything.
Yeah.
And then if he has all that, the number at the end of the night doesn't matter. We've already had a good time. He's already done what he, you know, kind of came to do, and the number is just an added bonus. But if you can't do any of that, you kind of want a halfway decent result, you know.
Last thing, so have you kind of said this is your last year? You said that. Is it not necessarily the case?
It's so hard.
You don't know for sure.
Honestly, it's so hard. I have said that. I've dabbled in that.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's a really, really hard decision when I have this type of a motorcycle under me.
Yep.
When I'm motivated.
Yep.
When I'm healthy and fit and fast. Like, it's so hard to say I'm gonna be done. So I really think, and I've thought this for a long time, that I feel like there will be, and look, I don't want it to go bad, because most things end because they go bad, right?
Yes.
I don't want that to happen. So I don't want to push it too far to where I'm a 12th or 15th place guy, and I'm just collecting a paycheck, and I don't want to be that. But if I show up to be competitive, and kind of goes back to what Paige, my wife, said, if I'm all in on it, then who knows? But I have a hunch it will probably be my last full season we all know that I love the overseas stuff, and
Right.
so yeah, maybe there's a part-time schedule in there. Maybe do some Europe stuff, maybe do some Australia, maybe a handful of races over here, or who knows, I might do it again. We'll see.
I think that helps you because honestly, I feel like when someone says this is it almost never goes well.
Take the edge off.
It does.
Totally take
Yes.
the edge off, and that's what
Yeah.
I don't want to happen.
Right.
So I've told everybody. I mean, all my contracts are up at the end of this year, and I've told everybody like, hey, let's reassess in April.
Yes,
or
you're
May.
not guaranteeing you're done. Yep.
And I think everybody's cool with that. It's like, Genova says, look, at most partnerships, if everybody's happy and they're getting the most out of each other, you're
Yeah.
just going to keep going, right?
Yes.
So that's where he also doesn't like the long-term deals, because if you're happy, it's going to be great and everybody's going to be stoked. If you're not happy and you got a long-term agreement, it's like, you want out anyway. So might as well not have a long-term agreement or even think that far ahead, because things are changing daily. But as I sit here today, I love it, man. It's my favorite thing to do, and so we'll see.
Okay. The goal is to never get to the point where you're sweating out those LCQs, the warfare, the minefield.
I was in one this year.
Yeah, you don't want that.
It was like riding through a minefield.
Yes.
Literally a minefield.
Yes. All right. So if you ever get to the point where you're LCQ every weekend, you're done.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's looking good. I think it's looking great. Troll training have anything for you, or you got it covered right now? You got troll training covered right now?
I don't know. I mean, Steve seems to think that Troll's pursuit to the 450 championship is right on track, but
yep.
I don't know. We'll have to talk to Troll himself, see how it's going.
Yep, everybody's over there resting in the shade, but only one man is still out here pounding laps, pounding motos, just grinding, tripling out, and then we know the whoop speed is beyond compare. Ken Roxon, what do you got for this? Cooper Webb, what do you got for that? Eli Tomac, Dylan Ferrandis, you got nothing for that. Train. One man is out there just pounding laps, looking in mid-season form. Why are you not out there chasing that carrot, chasing that rabbit?
We're learning, Weege.
Oh, you were by watching?
Yeah.
You were learning by watching.
We're learning.
You are not mid-season form right now?
Oh, this is early season.
Okay.
It's October. Yeah, we just did a motor with JB. Now we're watching.
Look at what you have to match. Look at this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, the whoops. Looks so good, dude. Mikey Visor has to get photos of this. But in reality,
JB's going to Myrtle Beach on Saturday. We'll be out here Saturday.
You'll be grinding for the open house.
Yeah, we got the club open house on Saturday.
So to excuse troll training, it's not troll training's fault. Troll was injured. That's the actual reason you're just slowly getting back into this.
Yeah.
You're just coming back from not a good 2021. Is that fair to say?
Oh, it was terrible. It was awful. This is like our third or fourth day in Supercross, so we're just getting back into it.
What do you mean?
Just at Marchbanks. Oh no, has it been more than 3 or 4 days?
How many days has it been, Garrett?
Wait a minute.
Can you count?
It's 5th day.
5th day.
I'll be here on Monday.
Yeah.
My 4th day.
Where were you at?
My 4th day. I was flying back and forth. Yeah, where were you at last week?
No, I was out Elko.
Yeah.
That's
more important.
yeah. Did you strap the elk on your shoulders and carry it out?
No. We did not kill one. I killed a deer, so that was sweet.
Now, Marchbanks, you did say, I asked you if you decided to get yoked out and just decided to become a bodybuilder, how quickly could you do it? You put on 10 pounds of muscle in like a week?
Yeah.
Accidentally.
Accidentally. And I worked it off, don't worry.
And because it was
yes.
only lifting weights that allowed him to gain weight. Like he ate really clean when he was home.
Oh, yeah,
it
it was.
Plenty of cardio every day.
It wasn't the diet.
There wasn't any alcohol involved with this.
Hey, no.
But you could be, what, 220 in like a month?
I bet you in like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I could probably be 210, 220.
6 or 9.
If you just started,
Yeah.
if you just started putting the big plates on there, you could do that too.
Yeah, I do big weights no matter what. That's all I did.
Are you gonna go ride?
We're thinking about it.
Okay, thinking about it.
The only way he's doing it is I'm going out.
Oh, yes, that's right. Once JB's moto's finally done, you guys can go. I don't want to kill your confidence
Yeah.
with the perfect 10
Hey, we're learning,
stop.
Weege, we're learning.
Can I even ask you about a 450, or is it too early to even really know right now? You're just getting back in the swing of things.
What do you want to ask about the 450? There's
Well-
a lot of aspects to it.
Well, I mean, are you there yet though? Like maybe you don't have a feel for it yet. Maybe you don't have real answers.
We have not tested yet.
Okay, perfect example.
We have in a week a test with Enzo coming up.
Okay,
So
you'll have a proper report coming later. Right now you're just getting a foundation.
yeah,
Okay.
Gotta
You can
get
handle
peg
it though,
risers,
right?
too.
yeah. Gotta get the what?
Peg risers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what about the double pegs?
We're only 5 mil taller right now.
The double pegs guy is only 5 millimeters taller. You got a lot of work to do. All right, we'll go see some Troll Train and Marchbanks grinding now that JB has shown everybody the fast way around.